You're listening to Where You Live with Gene Sullivan.
Welcome back to Where You Live. I'm Gene Sullivan, and it seems like I've heard this song before. Probably, yes. Well, I'm broadcasting from the Natural Green Lawn and Landscape Studios, brought to you by American Family Insurance, the Kim Bennett Agency, and Extreme Exteriors. Now, remember, you can count on Extreme Exteriors for expert installation of exterior siding, roofing, soffits, fascia, decks, windows, and more. With their knowledge and experience, they can design the perfect solution to make your home beautiful and energy efficient, saving you maintenance and money for years to come. Give them a call at 763-441-1334. Now it's time to hear from the Community Associations Institute. The CAI Minute is brought to you by New Concepts Rental Management. Whether you're an accidental landlord or a seasoned investor, New Concepts Rental Management can help you achieve your financial goals. We can advise you and guide you through every aspect of the business. Give us a call. Our number 952-922-2500.
Are you a volunteer in your homeowner association? Maybe a residential property manager wanting to increase your industry knowledge and obtain professional credentials in property management. Are you a vendor or professional offering services to homeowners and associations or property managers? If you said yes to any one of those questions, then join the Community Association Institute. The CAI is a great organization, helping you be informed and more proficient in your homeowner association board member or property manager role. It's also a great way to network with potential clients. For nearly 40 years, CAI has provided education and resources to volunteer homeowners who govern community associations and the professionals who support them. Visit cai-mn.com to learn more. That's cai-mn.com. The Minnesota chapter of CAI holds monthly managers' luncheons, board member education training, property manager certification training, and much more. It also produces a bi-monthly informative magazine called Minnesota Community Living. Why not join the Community Association Institute today? You can do so online at cai-mn.com and select membership.
If you're just joining us, we're talking about a story in the news that coming out of the state of Maryland. And apparently there was a judge in an appeals court who simply made a footnote at the end of a decision that he made. And this footnote was not even the main emphasis of the judgment that he was passing in this court case, but it's got everybody up in arms, wondering, even at the Maryland State Legislature, what does this mean? What should we do? And it's all over the area concerning disclosures. And as I mentioned before, if you have purchased a home or in the process, you will receive a number of disclosures from the seller telling you what the home is like, its condition, things that they've experienced before. In addition, with the homeowners association, you have a resale disclosure packet that has other items that the individual seller may not be aware of, but you will need to know because you're buying collectively with the other owners in this property called the association, and you need to be aware of what you would be responsible for. What's interesting is in the observation that was offered in dicta, which is just the judge's editorializing, he suggested that knowledge of building or health code violations that ultimately could lead to expensive repairs do not need to be disclosed to a would-be buyer unless the condition had been formally cited by the city or local authority with demonstrating what the code is and receiving a formal letter. And I was asking the question, should we really have to go and that far and really think about that? What is right? And we talk about a number of things: what is legal and what is ethical. And as I said in the first segment, they don't necessarily meet together. And you can follow everything that is legal, and it's not necessarily what would be the ethical thing to do. And a litmus test that someone told me to really test and find out what kind of person you are a long time ago was what you do when nobody's looking, what you do when no one else is around. That is the true character of the person that you are. And I guess because of that, I suppose it's good that we do have laws to try and put boundaries so that we know how to relate to one another as a neighbor, city, state, and federally in this self-government that we have in the United States. But it's real interesting. This disclosure is something that's a very important item to have, because without it, you don't know what it is that you are purchasing. And I would like to ask, another question, and that is, what kinds of things should you expect to see in a disclosure statement? Well, if you are receiving something from the Homeowners Association, some of the things that you're going to receive that'll be different from the seller of that unit or home themselves will be information on, for example, the budget of the association. You can count on what kind of money is being collected. You should be looking at to see what money is not coming in, because if this is a nonprofit organization and not everybody's paying and carrying their weight, that means that the organization is going to have to come up with extra money. That means there could be special assessments. You're going to be looking at the disclosure to see what kinds of things have been deferred, items that they haven't given attention to. And, a lot of times people have felt in the past not a need to inspect those common elements that are shared by all homeowners, and they have an inspector just look at the inside of the home. But more and more now, we're seeing inspectors who are saying, you know what, it's a condo association, we want to go down and see the boiler room. We want to actually get up on the roof and take a look for ourselves, the condition of the roof, even though the association's responsible. And they want to take a look at all of these things because they feel an obligation. And there's a demand in the marketplace by the buyer who's asking for answers to more and more of these questions. And what's interesting is that this guy in this judge in this footnote, he was really asking the question, who's going to be responsible for what? The real impetus in this court decision was who's responsible for disclosing what part of the information that gets passed on to a would-be buyer. You have things that are health code violations. You have building code issues. You have housing code issues. What's the difference? Well, in this judgment that this judge had passed, he said that while there is a requirement for the association to pass on building codes, there's not necessarily a requirement to pass on housing codes. Well, what's the difference? A building code is a standard that is established to enforce structural safety of the building itself. A housing code is different. A housing code will generally refer to minimum requirements, the minimum requirements under which a dwelling is habitable. So two different issues. And the judge was saying, while the association is responsible for the building and the structure, he was passing on to say, I don't think that they are required to do housing, which is it habitable? Are there other issues, other concerns? And the question that I threw out there is that right? Folks, when we're dealing with issues like this, the test that I think we should look at is the golden rule, that we should do unto others how we would want to have things done to us. And so you ask the question, if you were a buyer, any of you who would be a buyer to a potential sale, would you want to have any information disclosed? And if you answered, yes, I want to have all information disclosed, then you've got your answer, don't you? The interesting thing is that the National Association of Realtors have come up with a great test in talking about what needs to be disclosed and what doesn't. What is that, you ask? Well, we'll talk about that further, but we're going to take a break right now. So don't go away. There's more of Where You Live after these messages.
If you ever